Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dear student, I welcome you in second lecture of electrostatics. Today our topic of discussion is Coulomb's law. But before we start our new lecture, I want to revise some important points of our previous lecture. Yesterday, we studied electrostatics and electric charge. So what is electrostatics? Electrostatics is the branch of physics which deals with the study of charges at rest. And our second topic was electric charge. Electric charge is actually the intrinsic property of all elementary particles that causes them to exert force of attraction or repulsion on one another. And you know very well, there are two types of charge, positive charge and negative charge. Electron has elementary unit of charge, the smallest charge which can exist in nature, and it has negative charge, while proton has positive charge, but the charges of electron and proton are same in magnitude. And apart from this, they have some properties, and those are like charges always repel each other. Like means positive and positive, negative and negative. While unlike charges, I mean positive and negative. Unlike charges always attract each other. And the third point is charge is always quantized, conserved. Charge is always conserved. So these are the three main properties of the charge bodies. So we are going to start now our new topic, which is Coulomb's law. Coulomb's law is actually a fundamental law regarding electrostatics. It is first quantitative law regarding electrostatics. Investigated by a French physicist, Charles Augustin de Coulomb. In 1785. So this is considered as the first quantitative law regarding electrostatics. So now the statement of this law. We restart the statement from the top. Statement. According to Coulomb's law, the force of attraction or repulsion between two point charges is directly proportional to the product of charges, and second point is and inversely proportional to the square of distance between them. This is also known as inverse square law, just like Newton's law of gravitation. Because force of attraction or repulsion is inversely proportional to the square of distance between 2 point charges. What are point charges? Point charge is that charge or charges whose size or sizes are very small as compared to the distance between them. So such charges are known as point charges. It means their size is far lesser as compared to the distance between them. Now we are going to write the mathematical form of the Coulomb's law. So mathematical form of Coulomb's law, or we can say that we are going to explain it. For explanation, we consider 2 point charges Q1 and Q2. So these are 2 point charges separated by a distance R. So let me have 2 point charges Q1 and Q2. Ultimately, according to Coulomb's law, there is a force of attraction or repulsion. Whether they are attracting or repelling, it depends on the nature of the charges on them. If the two charges are same in nature, like charges, ultimately they will repel each other. So in this case, they will repel each other. So the force of attraction or repulsion, according to Coulomb's law, So Coulomb's law states that the force of attraction or repulsion between 2 point charges is directly proportional to the product of the charges. So the first point is F is directly proportional to the product of two charges. So this is the mathematical form of the statement, first point of the statement, directly proportional to the product of the charges. So force of the repulsion over here is directly proportional to the product of the charges. According to the second point of this law, the electrostatic force is inversely proportional to the square of distance between them. Square of distance between them is R, you know very well. So this is inverse square law. So force of attraction or repulsion between them, between these 2 point charges, is inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. It means the force of attraction or repulsion will increase if the product is greater. Its magnitude is larger, and the force of attraction and repulsion will decrease if the distance between them is larger. So inversely proportional. So we combine these 2 points. Equation 1 and equation 2, combining equation 1 and equation 2. So F is proportional to Q1 and Q2 upon R square. So to remove the sign of proportionality and to convert it into sign of equality, dear student, you know very well, we will have to introduce a constant. F is equal to K into Q1, Q2 upon R square, where K is constant of proportionality, where K is constant of proportionality and it depends on units of force R, Q1 and Q2, units of F, R, Q1 and Q2, and also on the medium between Q1 and Q2. For example, if the medium between Q1 and Q2 is air or free space. For example, if the medium between Q1 and Q2 is free space or air, then K can be replaced as F is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 upon R square, where epsilon not mean free space, where epsilon naught is electrical constant, also known as permittivity. And when free space is over there, we can say that it is permittivity of free space, known as permittivity of free space. And its numerical value is 8.85 into 10 raised to power minus 12 Newton per meter square into Coulomb square. And when we put this value in the above equation, then the value of K becomes K is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught is nearly equal to 9 into 10 raised to power 9 Newton meter square per Coulomb square. But when you introduce a medium between Q1 and Q2, ultimately this will decrease the electrostatic force applied by the first charged particle on second and vice versa. It means when you introduce a medium between 2 point charges, the force of attraction or repulsion between them will decrease. And by which factor this G, the force of attraction or repulsion, will decrease? So we are going to study it. So in case of medium, the Coulomb's law can be written as F is equal to, or you can simply say F dash, because this is the form of column law when there was no medium or free spaces over there. And now we are going to introduce a medium between Q1 and Q2. So 1 upon 4 pi epsilon, or simply as epsilon, or you can simply say epsilon m medium, Q1 Q2 upon R square. Epsilon m, or epsilon, is equal to epsilon naught into epsilon r, where epsilon r is known as relative permittivity. So new shape of the Coulomb's law can be written as F dash is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught epsilon r Q1 Q2 upon R square. So this is the mathematical form of Coulomb's law when there is a medium between Q1 and Q2, where epsilon r is known as relative permittivity. Where epsilon r is known as relative permittivity. And its value is always greater than 1. And its value is always greater than 1. One or unity. It means when its value is greater than 1 and epsilon has been introduced in denominator, so ultimately it will decrease the force of attraction and repulsion between 2 point charges. So it decreases the force by a factor epsilon r. G. Note, it decreases the electrostatic force by a factor epsilon r. Epsilon r, or relative permittivity, is also known as dielectric constant, because when you introduce a dielectric between 2 point charges, so this is a dielectric constant. Epsilon r is also known as dielectric constant Dear student, let me switch over to उर्दू। मैं कुछ उर्दू में बयान करना चाहता हूँ। कॉलम्स लॉ एक फंडामेंटल लॉ के तौर पर बयान किया जाता है इलेक्ट्रोस्टैटिक्स में। इसकी बुनियादी अहमियत है और ये पहला क्वांटिटेटिव कानून है जो कि इलेक्ट्रोस्टैटिक्स में पेश किया गया, क्योंकि चार्ज के मुतालिक कुछ मालूमात तो हमें फ्रैंकलिन के नज़रियात से भी मिलती है, लेकिन पहली मर्तबा एक लॉ की शक्ल में, एक पैमाइश की शक्ल में हमें कॉलम्स ने पेश करके दिया है। कॉलम के कानून के मुताबिक दो पॉइंट चार्जेस में अट्रैक्शन और रिपल्शन पाई जाती है और इसकी मिकदार कितनी होती है ये डिपेंड करता है कि Q1 और Q2 पर कितना चार्ज पाया जाता है। इनका प्रोडक्ट अगर यहाँ 2 कॉलम है या 3 कॉलम है तो 3 और 2 को मल्टीप्लाई कर लें 6, तो 6 जो है, जो न्यूटन फोर्स है वो Q1 Q2 पर लगा रहा है और Q2 Q1 पर लगा रहा है। और इसके दूसरे पॉइंट के मुताबिक जो फोर्स ऑफ अट्रैक्शन और रिपल्शन है वो इनवर्सली प्रोपोर्शनल है स्क्वायर ऑफ द डिस्टेंस बिटवीन देम। उनके दरमियान में जो पाया जाने वाला फासला है उसके बिलअक्स मुतनासिब है। उसको मैंने मैथमेटिकल शक्ल भी दी जिसके मुताबिक F इज डायरेक्टली प्रोपोर्शनल टू Q1 एंड Q2 और उसके दूसरे पॉइंट के मुताबिक F इज प्रोपोर्शनल टू 1/r², इनवर्सली प्रोपोर्शनल टू द स्क्वायर ऑफ डिस्टेंस बिटवीन देम। जब आपने इन दोनों पॉइंट्स को, पहले पॉइंट को और दूसरे पॉइंट को कंबाइन किया तो F इज प्रोपोर्शनल टू Q1 Q2/r²। और फिर आपने एक कांस्टेंट इंट्रोड्यूस किया K के नाम से, तो F इज इक्वल टू K Q1 Q2/r²। क्योंकि पॉइंट्स मैंने पहले लिख दिए हैं, वो आपके पास लिखे हुए रखे हुए हैं। तो K एक ऐसा कांस्टेंट है जो हमें मीडियम के मुतालिक ज़्यादा मालूमात नहीं दे सकता। मीडियम पाया जाता है या नहीं पाया जाता, तो हम K को थोड़ा मॉडिफाइड फॉर्म में लिखते हैं। अगर Q1 और Q2 के दरमियान में कोई फ्री स्पेस या नो मीडियम, कोई मीडियम नहीं पाया जाता, तो वहाँ पर हम K को रिप्लेस करते हैं 1/4 पाई एप्सिलॉन नॉट से। एप्सिलॉन नॉट के मुतालिक मैं बता चुका हूँ, इसको हम इलेक्ट्रिकल कांस्टेंट कहते हैं और इसकी न्यूमेरिकल वैल्यू हमारे पास 8.85 × 10⁻12 पर न्यूटन पर मीटर स्क्वायर इंटू कॉलम स्क्वायर इसकी वैल्यू होती है। जबकि अगर कोई मीडियम पाया जाता है फिर इसकी वैल्यू, तो फिर आप उसको एप्सिलॉन नॉट नहीं लिखेंगे बल्कि एप्सिलॉन या एप्सिलॉन एम मीन मीडियम से रिप्लेस करेंगे। और एप्सिलॉन एम मीडियम और एप्सिलॉन एम को रिप्लेस किया जा सकता है जी एप्सिलॉन नॉट एंड इनटू एप्सिलॉन आर। एप्सिलॉन आर क्या है? रिलेटिव परमिटिविटी, और इसकी वैल्यू मैंने कहा कि हमेशा 1 से ज़्यादा होती है। तो डियर स्टूडेंट, आज का लेक्चर यहीं तक। इंशाल्लाह कल तीसरे लेक्चर के साथ फिर हाजिर होंगे। तब तक खुदा हाफिज़।